AEW is on fire right now.
It absolutely is. It
And
absolutely is. Like, my God, AEW these past couple Dynamites have had shocking turns. A big or the big stuff within the
Owen Hart, yep.
Owen Hart Cup tournament, such as like the return of Hangman Adam Page, the shocking win of Bryan Danielson.
Yep, the heel
turn of Mariah May, and of course Willow Nightingale beating Statlander, which I don't think anyone expected to happen.
No, but I do think we're going to get a proper pay-per-view match between them, either at All Out or All In. If they build up that feud right, I think Willow versus Statlander could absolutely happen at Wembley Stadium at All In. I absolutely think that you could justify that.
Yes.
But speaking of stadium shows, Tony Khan, why? Yeah, why? So, All In is a stadium show, but it happens in the United Kingdom, specifically London, at Wembley Stadium. Okay? That's fine. But now you're talking about doing a stadium show here in the United States at Jerry's World?
Right.
What? Why? Of all the stadiums you could have chosen, why the Dallas Cowboys?
Right.
Like, why not go for a smaller stadium? Like, I don't know, your own stadium, where the Jaguars play.
Right. Especially, like, why, like, Tony, I love ambition, right? I am a very ambitious person. But I think you're flying a little too close to the sun here, buddy. Those wings could melt.
Yeah. Like, when WrestleMania has gone to Dallas, they've completely sold out that building. Do you think you're going to do that? Like, I hate to bring up this whole attendance issue, but AEW has trouble, like, with these arenas in terms of their attendance. And you expect to, have a huge crowd for an 80,000 plus stadium? What?
Right.
Like, Tony Khan.
It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy.
He better, if this turns out to be true, he better put together a massive card that's like, oh my God, I need to watch every single match on this show.
Right.
It can't be like, what would be a pay-per-view, a match that doesn't belong on a pay-per-view? Like
the Workhorsemen versus
Iron
Savages.
Yes, that's a Rampage match. That does not belong on a pay-per-view.
That's not just that's a Dark Elevation match if I've ever seen one. Dark Elevation doesn't exist anymore.
Yes, you are right about that. So I don't get it. But let's talk about last week's episode of Dynamite.
Oh, absolutely. Because we have two major things within the Owen Hart to talk about. First off, our female winner, Mariah May, beating Toni Storm bloody with not only the Owen Hart belt, but her own shoe.
So you
kind of have to say this, Tony.
You didn't watch
for the shoe.
But you have to wonder now, was this all a ruse?
Was this Mariah's plan the whole time? Or
did Mariah May just snap?
Right.
Like, it's fascinating. And then the story here is just going to be incredible leading up to All In.
It's like
Does
if
this?
you watch like the exclusive after on you, like what happened after on YouTube, it was just complete silence from both of them. Like there was not a word. It quite honestly, it looked like a scene out of a horror movie.
You know what I wonder? Does Mina Shirakawa come back into this? Because, like,
I hope so.
it seems like after she had, because she got smashed in the head with that champagne bottle, and then after Forbidden Door, they're just like, "Oh, we're all friends! Yay! Let's skip off together." I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah,
I didn't get
she
to watch.
accidentally smashed or actually Mina accidentally smashed Mariah in the head when she was aiming for Tony. Tony got out of the way, and Mina smashed it over
Yes,
Mariah's head. I don't know where they're going with this.
I,
It's so interesting. And that's the thing I love about AEW is that nothing is like predictable. Like you have no idea where an angle is going.
right. Unlike in WWE, where I'm sorry, like I don't give a shit about Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and
I never liked Liv Morgan to begin with. She is just a ripoff of Alexa Bliss without any of the charisma and half the talent.
yes, I
Why
mean
do they keep pushing her?
I don't
No
know.
one asked for it.
Between SmackDown and Raw, SmackDown's 100 times more interesting than
And then if you
Raw.
factor in NXT, NXT is here, the main roster is here.
Yes,
And that's the way it always has been.
yes. Where Ethan Page, a former AEW man, is now the NXT champion. But getting back to last week's episode of AEW, Will Ospreay's promo at the beginning of the show, he's just sitting on top of the ring post or whatever. And he's like, you called me a talentless hack. Dude, I've got more talent in my left nut than you do in your whole body. I just started laughing my
And
ass
then
off.
that little MJF vignette promo with him stirring the wine.
Yes. He's
That
like, oh, you thought I was actually gonna come down? No, these Canadians don't deserve to be in my presence. And I'm like, there's the MJF we all know and love.
Yep. It was so good to see him turn, and he murdered Daniel Garcia. That was great.
That's why I'm wondering. I don't think you bring Daniel Garcia back in yet, but that's why I'm so interested that we're just doing the match right away on Dynamite. We're not saving it for All In. That's why
Well, I think it's because they want to run Osprey Pac at All In because Pac has a guaranteed shot at the international title. That's why he won that global fatal 4-way.
right. So
Um,
could they? Do you think they're leaning towards MJF versus
Daniel Garcia
as
at
a
all.
at
Maybe,
All In?
yeah, I could see them doing that. That is definitely an All In worthy match. And if they don't want to run it All In, fine. All Out's next week.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, the other thing I was thinking is, no, I guess because of what you said with Pac, they can't really turn it into a triple threat match between Osprey, Garcia, and MJF.
Nope,
They
because we've
they
got
Pac.
yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of messes up everything because, like, we were talking about this in the Discord server that we're both in. Could this lead to like a time limit draw, some type of DQ finish?
I don't think either of these men are gonna lose. But then again, I said that about Swerve and Osprey at Forbidden Door, and well, someone did lose.
I heard the reasons Osprey.
Well, I saw the reason why they had Osprey lose was because he wanted to put away all the rumors that Swerve was just a placeholder champion for Osprey.
At All In.
Right. And I like that explanation. I like that idea.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. But at I think it was during last week's episode of Dynamite. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ospreay just casually asked Don Callis, "Hey, I want to."
It was 2 weeks ago
Okay,
that happened.
he said, "I want to leave the Don Callis family," and Don Callis just said, "Okay. However, I need a favor. I might ask you for a favor in the future." I wonder if that favor at some point could tie into this match between MJF and Ospreay on Wednesday.
It absolutely could. I could see it happening. Absolutely.
I don't know. Could that favor be that, hey, I need you to hit the Tiger Driver 91 on MJF?
Ooh. Ooh.
Yes, don't you think that could be a possibility?
I could absolutely see that being a possibility, but I can't think of a time when Osprey or when MJF ever crossed Don Callis.
That's true.
So, like, why would, and especially because MJF's a heel, why wouldn't Don Callis want to recruit MJF?
That's true.
I mean, I definitely don't see it happening. MJF is better as a solo act. He does not need a manager. That's why they had him separate from the firm immediately.
And that's why the Pinnacle didn't work. Although I loved their feud with the Inner Circle. That was great.
I actually liked the CM Punk feud with the Pinnacle a little better because he was able to break them apart.
Yes.
Because not only because of his friendship with FTR, but because he got through to Wardlow.
Correct. Well, did he though? Because Wardlow's disappeared again.
Well, I meant like kind of telling Wardlow to be like, hey, you don't need MJF.
Yeah.
And at first he didn't because he enjoyed a long reign with the TNT title, then lost to Samoa Joe because WWE was poking around and kind of wanted Joe. So Tony Khan's like, no. Well, we're gonna strap this guy up. He's ours. And it worked out better for Joe because because Tony Khan did the one thing Vince McMahon refused to do. Let Samoa Joe be world champion.
Yes, which that triple threat match at Revolution was fantastic.
Yes,
but in which we still don't know the answer. Did Hangman actually have to tap out, or was he just doing that to prevent Swerve from
we all know the answer. They won't tell us the answer. We already know the answer. He did it to screw Swerve.
Yes, which leads me to question, why didn't they have Hangman win the Owen Hart?
I'm guessing it's because it's Danielson's last year, and this is his last shot at the world title. I would have had Hangman win and then have Danielson kind of get into the world title scene a bit later through at Wrestle Dream. Since it is in both his and Swerve's home state, that's the right way to do it.
Right. Plus, you have Nigel McGuinness on commentary just, running down Bryan Danielson any opportunity he gets.
Honestly, I feel like they want to reverse it because everyone was calling Nigel McGuinness an All In, Swerve later. Maybe that's his last match as a full-time competitor is Nigel McGuinness.
Could be, but if you're not gonna run Hangman Swerve at All In, you have to run that match at some point, don't you?
I'm thinking World's End.
Oh, and they kind of do the same thing where Swerve's world ends?
I could see that. Or I think the theme of Worlds ending this year is going to be about the Elite. Because the Elite have all this power, and I do believe that it's going to run to World's End. And then the Elite are just going to lose all their power by the World's End.
Could be. But man, All In has so many compelling storylines going into it. I'm loving how Britt and Mercedes Moné are just upstaging each other. That's what this needed.
I'm enjoying that. I am a huge
Britt.
I'm well, I actually like Britt.
Okay.
I actually
You and,
like ever since she turned face, I think she's been doing a lot better than she was as a heel.
you
Like,
and I have never agreed because you continue to say Hikaru Shida was the best the best AEW women's champion all
I
time.
mean, there is a reason Tony trusted her with it two more times over Britt. They could have easily given Britt another title reign, but they trusted Shida, or Tony Khan trusted Shida. Why though? Because she carried the company through the pandemic, or the women's division through the pandemic, and that's why I say she's the best.
But couldn't that also be because Britt was injured and unable to wrestle?
Well, no, during Shida's second title reign, she lost with Britt in the match.
Oh, right, at All In.
Yeah.
Against Saraya and Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, nice job not having the champion factor into the finish at all.
Yeah. I forget who Saraya pinned in that match.
Tony, because Britt had Shida in the lockjaw.
Oh yeah, that's right. But nonetheless, I know your feelings about Mercedes Moné. I've always liked her going back to her days as Sasha Banks.
See, I liked Sasha Banks. I just feel like without the scripting of the promos, like without her having a script to read from, her promos just feel so forced and stilted, and it doesn't feel natural.
And I know you hate that she's basically part of the elite now, because you hate.
Oh no, I don't mind her being part of the elite. I actually wanted that.
Oh really?
I don't like the Young Bucks, and they're charisma vacuums. I hate Jack Perry. He is a charisma vacuum himself. I will say this. If Moné can find her charisma, the charisma she had at Sasha Banks, I will say that Okada is no longer the only charismatic piece of the elite. But as of right now, he is the only piece of charisma the elite has, and that's sad.
I still love when the Acclaimed were trying to make the rap.
Oh yeah, it's like I hit the wrong button. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry, bitch.
Okada. This is the Kazuchika Okada we've needed for so long.
Dude, that's another match.
I'm so glad AEW is letting him be this comedy character, because
and yet when he gets in the ring, you don't want to face him. No.
Well, there is a reason he is one of the. I think that there is a true Mount Rushmore of the greatest 4 wrestlers on Earth currently. He is on that Mount Rushmore.
I will say this, Kenny Omega were healthy right now, he would be on there for sure. In my opinion.
I mean, yes. Kenny Omega's still on there because he's still as in currently active as in non-retired. I think the top 4 wrestlers in the world, non-retired, currently active, are Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, and AJ Styles.
Ooh, AJ.
AJ is always going to be one of the best.
Didn't he just have a match in Noah, if I'm not mistaken?
Pro Wrestling Noah. I don't remember the opponent's name, but yeah, he did have a match in Pro Wrestling Noah, which is awesome.
So did Io Sky, actually.
Not Noah. A different company. It's a Joshi company.
Oh, okay. But nonetheless, I know Io Sky had a match in Japan.
Yes, which is really nice.
It might have been on the same show AJ was on. I'm
not 100% sure. I don't know if I can. Because they don't usually. Let's see.
But nonetheless, let's get to what we've got on this week's episode of Dynamite. We already talked about what's the Will Ospreay MJF stuff. Let's talk about what's probably going to be the main event. Swerve Strickland versus Kazuchika Okada. Champion versus champion.
Yep.
The way Swerve set this up last week in that promo was beautiful. First of all, he's like, yes, I am joining Blood and Guts for Team AEW, which led to Hangman in turn going, okay, yes, I will join Blood and Guts and be part of Team Elite. I loved that. Because we get to see Hangman and Swerve inside Blood and Guts. Yes, please. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Which means we only have 2 spots left for Team AEW in Blood and Guts. Who do you think that's going to?
I think it's going to. It can't go to the Elite because they won.
Well, they have all 5 members. They've got Okada.
Oh, you mean who like the rest of Team AEW is going to be?
Correct.
Okay.
Because we've got Briscoe, Swerve.
This is kind of just my fantasy book because I want to see it. I really want to see this happen. Jay Lethal joins Team AEW and says, I don't want Jeff Jarrett in the ring with Hangman, but I've got 2 friends who definitely want to mix it up with the Young Bucks. Enter the Motor City Machine Guns.
They're probably heading for WWE, though.
I know, but I want them so badly in AEW.
I believe so far on Team AEW, it's Mark Briscoe.
Swerve.
Is that it?
I think that's it, unless something happened on Collision that I wasn't aware of because I didn't watch Collision last week.
Not that I know of. It sounds like, Darby returned on last week's episode of Dynamite.
Yeah, he did, attacking Brandon Cutler.
Yes. So my guess is he's going to join Team AEW. And I bet you the last 2 spots are going to go to Max Caster and Anthony Bowens.
I could definitely see that.
Because they won that tag team eliminator match, which means they earned a tag team title opportunity.
Yep.
But they haven't cashed that in yet. It's probably going to happen at All In.
Yeah.
I could see that being an All In match.
It most likely will be. She was not on that Noah show.
Okay. But, yeah. And then I think Mercedes Moné is facing Nyla Rose tomorrow because she put out an open challenge.
For anyone but Britt Baker.
Yes. I'm loving how this feud is going. And, dude, wrestling is awesome right now. Well, Monday Night Raw, not so much. But, because Monday Night Raw, I'm just like, this is boring. Like, can I get some wrestling, please?
Right.
Whereas when I watch AEW, I'm like, oh, so that's why it's called All Elite Wrestling.
Right.
Oh, and guess what we get tomorrow on Dynamite? Hi, guys!
Chris Jericho, the best thing, one of the best things in pro wrestling right now.
As much as, like, I've criticized him, I'm like, as this whole character has developed more, I'm starting to like it more because he's gone from, like, this, like, just kind of comedy heel, if you will, to just losing his mind.
Yep. That's the best way to describe it. He is going insane, and I love it.
So that's why I'm starting to come around on it. When he first debuted this character, I'm like, I can't really get behind this. Because it was just, there was just something about it that was a miss. But I'm like, but now that he's like becoming more and more of a lunatic, I'm like, okay, I like this.
Yeah.
I wonder if what's going to happen because he's taken out Hook. He's taken out Samoa Joe.
So I'm wondering how he's going to take out Katsuyori Shibata.
Yes. And if that's the case, what happens at All In and or All Out? You would think this has to end somehow, right?
Well, I think Hook will come back eventually. He only got a fireball in the face. That's
Yeah.
not doesn't the reason why they took out Joe was because he's going to film Twisted Metal season 2.
Right. So
So I'm guessing I'm guessing it's going to be Hook and Jericho
FTW rules match probably.
for the FTW championship, and that's how Hook's going to get the belt back
Yeah.
again.
It almost makes me wonder what the point of giving Jericho the belt was, though. It feels
yeah. I mean, what was the point of giving Jack Perry the belt if he was just going to lose it to Hook too?
yeah. After turning heel on Hook.
Hook, right? Because we had that whole Jungle Hook thing.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
But you got anything else?
Not on AEW right now.